Good Tuesday morning to you. John Gale, the Hyperactive Conservative, on this May 12th, 2020. This edition of the Hyperactive Conservative. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, all of you who are watching on both Facebook and on YouTube. That's right. We are also streaming right now, live on YouTube, and it's a real simple way to watch. Just search for the Hyper Conservative and click that red subscribe button. It's a simple thing to do. We encourage each of you to like, share, and follow to give us a thumbs up. Hey, Sister Bev, thanks for tuning in. Glad you're here supporting me. I greatly appreciate it on this Tuesday morning edition of the Hyperactive Conservative. We want to get right into our funny memes of the day. It's stuff that we like to call the crazy Corona news. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit better than it was yesterday. I got a little, it looks like I swallowed a frog or something like that. It's not too bad. It actually was fine really right after I shut off the stream. I did the rest of my weather forecasts. I do audio voiceover work for 20 radio stations, and I did those. But I just couldn't keep doing the voiceover stuff on the live stream too, because I would have wore out my voice that much more quicker. So I sound a little bit like Barry White. Hey, baby. Today. Not quite Barry White, but close enough. We want to get right into our funny memes of the day today. This is not real funny, but I thought it was interesting. I saw this advertisement come up on my Facebook page yesterday. You can now buy these real-time elevated body temperature cameras that you can install, like security cameras, that will show everyone's temperature. Talk about Big Brother. That's kind of scary. The day they started releasing criminals and began finding churchgoers should have been the day that we realized that this has gone way too far. The asleep are afraid of a virus. The awake are afraid of their government. So much debate going on about, about the whole thing of whether or not, which side we should take on this, and how people who are, wearing masks are intimidated by the folks who aren't wearing masks, and the people who aren't wearing masks are feeling like, why are you wearing that mask? It's kind of ridiculous. I kind of lean towards the not wearing the mask, but I believe if you're immune compromised, if you're elderly, if you're not healthy, you should wear a mask no matter what. And if the stores tell you need to wear a mask, you should wear a mask. That's their policy. You can always go down the road to a different store. So don't get all bent out of shape that a store is making you wear a mask. Just don't visit that store. It's as simple as that. It's called capitalism, and businesses can run things however they decide to run them, and we can either purchase items from those businesses or choose somewhere else. So we ultimately have control. That's what capitalism is about. The consumer makes the final decisions, right? An app to trace movements of COVID positive people. Where are the apps tracking pedophiles and rapists? There really are such things. If you look up, you can find out where pedophiles live in your neighborhood. So they do kind of exist, but I totally get the point of the meme. This is a great post. It's a ruling from the Supreme Court during the Civil War back in 1866, which states this law that remains in effect yet today. Neither the legislator nor any judicial or executive officer may disregard the provisions of the Constitution in case of emergency. Section 98 therefore says anyone who declares the suspension of constitutionally guaranteed rights to freely travel, peacefully assemble, earn a living, freely worship, etc., or attempts to enforce such suspension within 50 independent, sovereign, continental United States of America is making war against our Constitution, and therefore we the people. They violate their constitutional oath and thus immediately forfeit their office and authority, and their proclamations may be disregarded with impunity, and that means anyone, even the governor and the president. That from a Supreme Court ruling right after the Civil War. It is issue 71 US.2 from 1866. Quite interesting, huh? Wow. Moving on today. If you didn't notice, I just want to put myself in the category as one of the other people who've been chastised from YouTube, who have been shut down. Not that I'm anywhere near some of the many others that have already been given this badge of honor, let's say. But you might remember I posted a YouTube video, just a repost basically, of Dr. Jeff Barkey is his name, I'm sorry. He's a physician out of California. And I posted this video on May 8th. What I did was I added captions, closed captions at the bottom, and basically added some music to it. But it was essentially the same video that many other channels were already sharing on YouTube. Well, it turns out that after some 10,000 views, and I'm going to try to bring this up and let you see this. It'll take a second to upload, and I know it's very small, especially probably on your phones if you're watching on your phones today. But you can see my video at the top. It says California physician Dr. Jeff Barkey denounces the COVID-19 lockdown. It was basically his speech, his opinion as a physician that was going against many of the other physicians that, you know, are very pro all the different things that are being said about COVID-19. Anyway, it received, as you can see, under the view category, 10,172 views. It had 97% likes versus dislikes. It had 437 likes. It had over 30 comments. Those comments have also been removed. But we were evidently, according to YouTube, we were a violation of their community standards. Well, what are community standards? Let me show you exactly what YouTube sent me so you can see exactly what it said. Hi, the Hyperactive Conservative. As you may know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, California physician Dr. Jeff Barkey denounces the COVID-19 lockdown, was flagged to us for review. Now that means that some whiny little person that didn't agree with the video flagged it. And I think there has to be 3 flags before it is sent on. So they might have flagged it 3 times, or 3 different people might have flagged it. There were several thumbs down, so it could have been any of those as well. But we know that this says this might be disappointing, but it's important for us that YouTube is a safe place for all. If content breaks our rules, we will remove it. If you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal, which I did, and then they came back again and said it still violated their community standards. Well, I wanted to show this, and you might be saying, why are you rambling on and on and on about this? But I want to show this. This is right now live. I did a search for Dr. Jeff Barkey rally. You can see at the top, there's that same video. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, scroll down. There's 4 there, actually. It's just a different view. 5, 6. Let's move on. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And it looks like that's about it when I just search for his name like that. So 24 videos on YouTube of the exact same video that I posted, yet they remain online, but my video was taken down. So just so you're aware, conservatives are being targeted. I don't know if it's my name, the Hyperactive Conservative, or if it was perhaps my thumbnail that I posted. I thought about that too, because let me show you the thumbnail again. I'll bring that up on the screen here for you for just a second. That's my conservative page. I'm sorry about this, guys. This is the thumbnail, which says Dr. Jeff Barkey, the Hyperactive Conservative. This is just his quote, a snapshot of the caption from the video. We the people want to put our government back in its place. I wondered if that might have been, you know, one of their reasons for taking down the video. That isn't what I said. That is just a closed caption of what he said. Anyway, it's just very disappointing. The positive thing about it all is that we gained nearly 100 subscribers over the course of 48 hours online. So that's pretty awesome, and we're excited about that. I'll get off my soapbox about that. Let's move on and take a look at what's trending now in the news on the Hyperactive Conservative. Yes, indeedy. We're going to get right to the news today. Mexico's president has called for an investigation into Fast and Furious. Apologists from former President Barack Obama love to claim that his administration was scandal-free. I remember Joe Biden just said that in a recent interview. You know, the thing that's most important about our administration, there was not one single solitary scandal. Really? It's a claim that may appear to be true to someone who didn't pay attention. However, during the Obama administration, there were numerous scandals under his administration, and the Spygate scandal is still making headlines today as new documents continue, exposing new depth, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But it's not the only scandal that we may be hearing about. Mexico's president asked the United States for answers on Friday and an apology for the Obama-era gun-running operation known as Fast and Furious. For anyone who doesn't have quite the memory that they used to have, let me refresh it a little bit. Fast and Furious was an operation carried out by the ATF between 2009 and 2011, in which they deliberately sold over 2,000 firearms to illegal straw buyers with the hopes of tracking them to Mexican drug cartel leaders so they could be arrested. The absurd scheme went about as well as you might expect it would from that brief description. And in the end, the guns were used to kill hundreds of Mexicans and even one American border agent, and no cartel leaders were even apprehended. This is what the president said. What seems serious to me is that a violation of our sovereignty was carried out, a secret operation, and that Mexicans were killed with these weapons. Lopez Obrador, the Mexican president, said during a press conference on Friday in Mexico City. How could this be? A government that invades in this way, that flagrantly violates sovereignty and international laws. He continued, we have to shine light on this so that an action of this type will never be carried out again. There's still time for the U.S. to apologize, the Mexican president has stated. We're going to keep following that. It seems like everything that Obama did is slowly unraveling. Have you noticed that? Bev, in regards to the mask, says, mask, same reason I wear a bra. It's not for me, but for other people. Oh my gosh, Dad. Wow, that's an agua sip if I ever needed one. Yeah, you got to keep those. Well, we won't continue with that, Bev. Sorry. Moving on today. A new study has confirmed that the Common Core thing was all wrong. And we were told many years ago that the conservatives had it all wrong, that Common Core pushed by President Barack Obama was going to work. It wasn't like any of the other liberal education plans. No. This one was different. Of course, you see children coming home and not able to figure out anything with their math, taking 3 times as long as a problem would normally take, and parents being frustrated, not understanding it whatsoever. A new study by the Pioneer Institute reveals that we were right all along. The study released last month revealed that there were huge drops in math and reading scores since Common Core was fully enacted in 2013. This after decades of slow growth in both categories. Breaking with decades of slow improvement, U.S. reading and math scores on the National Assessment of Educational Progress and other assessments have seen historic declines since most states implemented National Common Core English and math curriculum standards 6 years ago. A statement on the Pioneer Institute's website read, while Common Core was promoted as improving the international competitiveness of U.S. students in math, our international standing has remained low, while the skills of average and lower performing American students have dropped in reading. How much? Only 10% of 8th grade American students now score at an advanced level in math. So technically, we're in the middle of countries worldwide. We're much closer to the lower end of the scale. Turkey, 6%, and the United Arab Emirates, 5%. And believe it or not, Kazakhstan and Hungary beat us in both math and reading. There is something to be proud of, America. Meanwhile, Adam Schiff lied about the Trump administration and during his investigation, and the media let him do so. Last week, acting director of the National Intelligence, Richard Grenell, forced Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff's hand. If the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee didn't release the transcripts of 53 interviews from the committee's Russian collusion investigations, then he'd do it himself. The transcripts, many of them from nearly 3 years ago, were declassified and ready for public viewing since June. As the grand presario of collusion, Schiff has filled print and broadcast media since January 2017, claiming that he had seen more than circumstantial evidence of a Trump-Putin conspiracy. Obviously, there was none in the transcripts, or he'd have pulled back the curtain years ago. But Schiff didn't want to hand control of the narrative to one of Trump's most effective deputies. So on Thursday, they finally went live. They show exactly what you'd expect them to show. None of the former Obama administration officials who took to the airwaves immediately after Trump's election to claim collusion had any evidence of it whatsoever. Obama's National Intelligence Director Analysis James Clapper said, "I never saw any direct empirical evidence that the Trump campaign or someone in it was plotting or conspiring with the Russians to meddle with the election. If there was no evidence of the Trump's team's lies to Russia, why did the FBI investigate Trump's 2016 campaign? Well, it's called the Objective Medusa. Nunes team investigation of the FBI team and targeted the Trump campaign. That's what he did. Their efforts not only unraveled the collusion myth, but also first illuminated the FBI's crimes and abuses. Their groundwork led, among other things, to Attorney General William Barr's decision also on Thursday to drop the DOJ's case against General Michael Flynn. This is just beginning, gang. We're going to see an unraveling and an unhinging of the liberal left like you have never seen before. Watch, they will deflect towards COVID-19. They will deflect to the reopening of the nation being the wrong thing to do, that we will have millions more infections and deaths as a result. They will deflect from what is being released right now. Moving on. Federal court has overturned Kentucky's ban on in-person church services. A federal judge in Kentucky has overturned Governor Andy Beshear's ban on mass gatherings as it relates to in-person church services. The ruling clears the way for churchgoers to attend services on Sunday. U.S. District Judge Gregory Van Tatenhove issued a temporary restraining order against the governor's rule after two other federal judges upheld the ban as constitutional. The order will allow services and any in-person religious service which adheres to applicable social distancing and hygiene guidelines. The Constitution will endure. It would be easy to put it on the shelf in times like this, to be pulled down and dusted off when more convenient, Van Tatenhove's opinion read. But this is not our tradition. Its enduring quality requires that it be respected even when it is hard. Good news for Kentucky churchgoers. Meanwhile, Michigan militia members say they won't allow police to bully 77-year-old Barber, defying their Democratic Governor Whitmer's shutdown order. Members of the militia won't allow police to arrest 77-year-old Carl Mankey, who opened his barbershop last week in defiance of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's coronavirus shutdown order. "We're here to make sure that he doesn't get arrested," Daniel Brewer told the station Saturday. You watch. This is gonna get hairy, guys. We're about to see some serious action coming down. "We're here to make sure he doesn't get arrested. We're willing to stand in the front of the door and block the entrance so the police will have no entry there today." Let me get a picture of the 77-year-old Barber there. The barbershop has been open since last Monday against state orders and received a packed lobby of customers on his first morning, as well as 2 citations before Friday. The local television station said. Still, dozens of supporters gathered outside Mankey's barbershop on Saturday, and 15 customers were waiting in line outside the door for haircuts. I'm not trying to be a scofflaw. I'm trying to make a living, Mankey told the television station. I tried for unemployment. I was denied twice on unemployment, and I haven't seen anything on any of these other checks from the government. People got to live, guys. People got to open up. You've got to make a way for businesses to reopen. If Walmart and Lowe's can reopen, so can the local barbershop, guys. It's not rocket scientist. And here we go, allowing businesses to sort of reopen, at least a certain percentage of reopening across even here in the state of Ohio, but we are not allowing daycares to be operational. Well, how can people work? How can people work, Governor Mike, if they don't have childcare for their children? I'm going to grab a sip. As you can hear my voice, I'm starting to lose it again. Forgive me for that. Seasonal allergies, I'm supposing. Elon Musk restarts his Tesla plant in defiance of the lockdown, says he'll be on the line like everyone else. Wow. Billionaire Elon Musk announced on Monday that Tesla would resume production in Alameda, California, in defiance of local orders dictating a continued lockdown on manufacturing over coronavirus concerns. The entrepreneur, who has been in a feud with officials for trying to keep Tesla shut down, said he would be joining the production line himself, and he told authorities, if anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me. Last week, Governor Gavin Newsom lifted some restrictions of his statewide lockdown to allow for retail and manufacturing to resume on Friday. But Alameda County, where Tesla's headquarters is located, continued its lockdown, and its health officer reportedly told Tesla it could not reopen on Friday as Musk had planned. Well, why? Why did they target the county that Tesla's plant and headquarters is located in? Why? Why is that? Musk fired back over the decision, filing a lawsuit against the county and vowing to move Tesla's headquarters out of California to Texas, Nevada immediately. On Monday, Musk declared on Twitter, Tesla is restarting production today against Alameda County's rules. I will be on the line with everyone else. If anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me. New Jersey parks are being littered with urine and feces in an inordinate amount, being left behind in the parks in water bottles as bathrooms remain closed during the coronavirus outbreak, according to the state's police superintendent. This is a zero tolerance policy for that, Colonel Pat Callahan said on Monday during New Jersey's daily press briefing. It said its parks have reopened. The whole idea behind the parks is to give our citizens the ability to go out there and enjoy fresh air and have time outside. And that report from the park police was certainly disheartening, to say the least. Well, here's the deal. If you're going to open a park, you need to open the toilet facilities as well, New Jersey. How can you expect people to go to a park and not have to use the bathroom? Now, should they take their water bottles full of pee back home with them? Yes, they should. Or at least, pour it out somewhere safe. What do you expect? What do you expect to happen when you open up the parks, but you don't open up any restrooms? You're going to have a mess, guys. Come on. Illinois churches have defied Governor Pritzker's absurd restrictions on in-person services. Some of the Illinois churches have held services on Sunday in defiance of Governor J.B. Pritzker's coronavirus orders limiting worship services to 10 people. Elam Romanian Pentecostal Church and Logos Baptist Ministries, both represented by Liberty Counsel, have filed a federal lawsuit on Friday arguing that limiting churches' attendance is unconstitutional and pointing out that liquor stores, marijuana dispensaries, and supercenters are allowed to accommodate large crowds, but churches are not. Governor Pritzker clearly does not seem to know that churches have First Amendment rights to exist, but businesses do not. Matt Starver, Liberty Counsel founder and chairman, said in a statement to Fox News. Crazy information. Just trying to get to the gist of this a little bit for you. One pastor said he believes his church set an example for others by taking extra precautions to hold Sunday services, from hiring a professional sanitation company to provide masks and observing social distancing guidelines set by the Center for Disease Control. And you can see in some of these photos here, the pews are marked off with caution tape. People are very far apart as they go back to services in Illinois. Crazy, crazy, crazy corona news today. Some of these governors, all they do, they just seem to have a godlike complex. They want to control everybody and everything, and this is their chance to do so. Meanwhile, a California county is facing a delay in reopening some of 2,000 people attending a rodeo, officials have announced. Shasta County, north of Sacramento, with a population of about 177,000 people, had been set to open early, according to local health officials, on May 8th because it met criteria for a regional variance. This would have seen many businesses reopening, including retail and dine-in restaurants. But just 2 days later, the Cottonwood Rodeo held its Mother's Day event, drawing in large crowds despite health officials saying it should not go ahead. Carrie Shute, a spokesman for the Shasta County's Health and Human Services, told the Record Searchlight that it would have to go on renege of some of its reopening plans after the rodeo. You just don't know how many people will become infected from COVID-19 and die as a result. I'm not happy, and the state isn't happy, and it's impacting the approval of our variants. We are all frustrated. It was inappropriate, and it put the community at risk of disease. What are we going to do, guys, when the sports comes back online? Are we ever going to see a stadium filled again? Or will sports teams just be having their athletic events to empty crowds? What is going to happen to NASCAR, to baseball, to football come fall? It's more chance for the government to take control and for governors of the states to individually take on godlike responsibility and have the power that they've always wanted. That's going to be it for today's episode, guys. I was a little fired up today. I'm losing my voice again already. I'm going to take a break. We're going to try to come back and do the radio weather forecast here at about 12:15. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Bob, thanks for tuning in. Glad that you're here with us watching the Hyper Conservative. We'll be back tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Wednesday edition. Until then, have a blessed day. Be sure to wash your hands. Take care of one another. Have a great day. Bye-bye.